Today, we are talking about money roadmaps. And the key thing I want you to remember to think about when making a choice on anything personal finance is that it is personal. Personal finance is just that, it is personal. So every decision that you make around personal finance strategies, personal finance goals, apps, any of that, systems, it all depends on your personality, your goals, your level of comfort when working with those personal finance tools. Hello and welcome back to Sev Talks Money. If you are visiting here for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. We talk strategies and share tools and tips every Sunday afternoon here at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the tips and tools and strategies that we share all lead to financial freedom. So today, again, we're talking about money roadmap, aka budgets, the dreaded B word, aka spending plans. And really, there is no need to fear budgeting or personal finance plans because they all give us the opportunity for freedom, financial freedom. All right, so I'm going to delve into five types of budgeting. And as the weeks progress, I am going to go into more details for each type. So I'm briefly going to touch on the different types, and I'm going to talk also about how they best fit each personality type. So the first one I want to talk about is the cash budgeting system, or the envelope method, or also called zero-based budget. And for this one, what you're doing is you are assigning a name, a house, a category to every penny that comes into your household. So, for example, you would assign money to auto repair. You'd assign money to vacation. You'd assign money to clothing, to Christmas spending, car replacement. If you know in a couple of years you are going to need to replace your car, you are going to break up your money into categories, and every dollar that comes into your house has a pool, it has a category, it has a name. There is no, oh, I broke $20. Where did that go? I've been there, and I'm sure that some of you are listening has also been there, where you have money and you break that money, the bigger bills, and then you're saying, where did that money go? Well, if you use this method, you don't have to worry about that, because you are going to say, I make $1,000 per month. For that $1,000, I am going to assign every dollar a category based on my expenses. And you are aiming to have zero. After you have your income minus your expenses or your outgoes, you are aiming to have a zero balance. Okay, if you don't have a zero balance, that is perfectly okay. Because remember, personal finance, what is it? It is personal. It's all about you and how you handle things. So if you find yourself with a surplus, what you want to do is take that surplus and reassign to some other categories. Maybe you want to increase your saving. Maybe you want to increase your vacation budget. Maybe you want to increase your investments. Whatever it is, you are going to take that surplus and you are going to assign it, because again, the purpose is every dollar has to have a name. Every dollar has to have a job that it has to do. So your money comes in and you have your outgoes, which you're going to include your savings. You're going to include any category of spending that you need to do. And the bottom line is, when you take the income less your outgo, it should be zero. If you have less, not a surplus, but you have less, then you have a problem with your income. So you either need to increase your income or decrease your outgoing categories, or do both. And you can increase your income by doing a little side job. There are plethora of side jobs that you can do in today's world. And especially since we're at home, there are things that we can do that takes maybe a couple hours per week to get us some extra money. And again, we're going to talk about those things later this year. But for now, what you want to do with the zero-based budget, the purpose is to make sure that whatever comes in has a name and is assigned to a category. And if you have a surplus, you want to rearrange your categories and add some more money, maybe to savings or investments. If you have less, then you want to look at how you can increase your income and and um and or decrease your spending. This budget is a good fit for someone who is very anal, like me, who is very detailed and want to be able to have a better handle on their money. What happens after you've done this budget for a while is you're going to find that it becomes automatic and it gives you freedom because you know how much is coming in and you know how to maneuver and make what you need to do work with what's coming in. So the next budget that we want to look at is the percentage-based budget. Now, there are several percentage-based budgets, and the one that's more popular is probably the one that you've heard is the 50-20-30. And that one is where you're taking 50% of your budget and you're assigning that to your needs. You're taking 20% of your budget and you're assigning that to savings and 30% to wants. You can play around with those numbers. Again, personal finance is what? Personal. So you can play around with those numbers and make it fit based on where you are in your life, where you are in your spending pattern, where you are in your investments, where you are in your savings goals, all of that. You can make it work for you. So in the weeks to come, we're going to talk about 5 or so different type of percentage-based budgeting systems and how you can use those to your advantage. Now, this one again is more for somebody who can they know how much they are coming is coming in. They have a pretty good handle on what they need to spend, and they know how to spend within the categories. So within the 50% that you're assigning as your needs, you know how to make that number work and fit all your needs. The 20% you're assigning to savings, you know how to make that work, whether it's going to be directly to emergency savings or you want to put it to some kind of long-term saving or investment. And then the 30%, your wants, you are going to know how to make that work for you because you have a handle on your money. So the first one, which is a zero base, and this one is more for somebody who has a handle on their money. And the first one, the zero base, is really for those who don't have a handle and need to understand where your money is going because it's going to require some tracking, some detailed tracking. And at first, it may be tedious, it may be a headache, but I promise you that if you do that, you're going to see where your money goes and it's going to help you to be more freer in allocating your funds to where it needs to go. The third budget is the spend as you go system. And for this one, the person who is a good fit for this is somebody who already knows their budget. Like for me, I could do this one because I know what comes in my household. I know how much it takes to run my household. So I could spend first and know that I have enough left over to save because I know what my categories are. I know how much I can spend and I know what I'll have left over to save. So for this person, you're going to say, oh, I'm going to spend, buy whatever I need. And then whatever is left, I'm going to save. But it works better if you already have a handle on your spending. This is not for most Americans because the studies have shown that many Americans, a large percentage of Americans, would not be able to get a handle on $400 in emergency savings. So this spend and then what's left is you save is not for most Americans. This is for somebody, again, who already knows how much it takes to run their household, and they know that they are going to end up with something that they can save. And again, we're going to dive more into all of these in the weeks to come. All right, number 4 is get over there, save first, then spend the rest. So for this person, you're going to say, I want to set 20% aside to save, and the rest of it, I am going to spend and do what I need to do. This person tracks. Number 5 is very similar, and I'm going to talk about the difference between number 4 and number 5 in a little bit. But for number 4, you are setting aside an amount and you say, I'm going to save 20% of my paycheck. I don't care what needs to be done. I'm setting aside 20% of my paycheck, and I am saving that, and then I am going to spend the rest. But I'm not going to spend it willy-nilly. I'm going to track it. I'm going to have a handle on my spending because I'm going to keep track of it. For number 5, this budget type style is called the anti-budget. And this person really doesn't really have a budget per se, like something in writing, because they have progressed to such a point that they know they're spending in such a way that they say, I'm going to save, and then I don't have to track because I know exactly what I need to spend. I am not a spender, so there's no danger of me running into the red or needing to spend on my credit card or anything like that, because I know how much it takes to run my household. I'm going to save. I don't have to track my spending because I'm very good about spending. I am not a spender. So this person is going to be the person that says, my priority is saving, and I have a good handle on my spending, so I don't really have to track anything per se. So again, these are the main 5 types of budgets: the zero-based budget, the percentage-based budget, the spend as you go system where you're spending first and save what's left, the save first, but you're also tracking as you spend, and then the save first, well, with no real tracking because you have a handle on your spending. And as we go along in the weeks to come, I'm going to dive a little bit more into each of these and which one is best based on your personality. For me, I can do any of them, and that's because I've been tracking my budget for years. And so I know at a glance, I can tell you how much it takes to run my house. And not only that, I can tell you if something were to happen, if I were to lose my job, I know what my very lean budget needs to be for me to live outside of the extra things. So you want to get to this place, and then you can play with any of these budgets, because at any time I will use any of these budgets because it depends on my mood, how I feel. If I don't feel like tracking anything, I can use any one of these budget types because I have gotten a handle on my budget. Now, I have to tell you that the last 2 months, I started a part-time gig where I am a teacher's assistant in a master's program, and I'm helping with an accounting class, accounting analysis. And I started in January. And because I was just learning the ropes, learning all of that, I was not cooking as much, so I was eating out. So my grocery spending got a little bit out of control. And this is why it is so important to understand budgets, because I was able to quickly identify that my grocery spending and my eating out budget was out of control, and I'm able to rein that back in because of spending. And that's the reason, budgeting. And that's the reason why I always advocate that budgets bring freedom, because I already had the budgeting down packed. I was able to see where I was out of alignment with my budget and can be able to bring that back in with my spending. So I'm hoping that this has been useful. Please come back next week and the week after, because we're going to be diving more into budgeting and all the budgeting tools. I'm going to also be sharing some apps that works best with each type of these budgeting style. So you want to come back, you do not want to miss. So with that, I want to remind you that if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe, comment, share, and like, so that what YouTube will do is will send out the video, send out the information to other people so they know that once YouTube realize that there are people who are engaging with the content, they will push it out to more people. All right, so let me go ahead and check the comments now and see if anyone has any questions or any comments that they would like to share. I just wanted to get through the content so that those who are going to be watching the replay will be able to get to the meat of the content. And then now I can interact with those in the comments. So Beverly is saying hi. And Beverly said number 3 is me also. And Asian American Legal Focus, Judy is saying she's just dropping in briefly. Please go check out Asian American Legal Focus, her channel. She shares legal stuff in a fun way, so you will enjoy her content. So again, thanks everyone for coming by today. Again, we are going to be diving more into the content, and we're going to talk more about budgeting and the different apps that go along with each budgeting style as the weeks go by. And I hope that this has been beneficial to you. Thank you and have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I am going to be linking another video where we talk a little bit about budgeting. I'm going to be linking that here, and you should be able to see that shortly. Thank you so much and have a great Sunday afternoon.